Welcome to another couple video. Today we're going to share with each other, but especially with you, 3 of our most significant art pieces or embroidery pieces each. So that makes it essentially 6 pieces, and why they are significant, well, you're gonna find out in this video.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, who starts?
Okay, you start.
I start.
So the thing is that we will talk about our piece, why we like it, what's important with it, what touches us, or maybe what is the memories with it. So, honneur to the femme.
But
Oui,
first...
that was for English.
Honneur to the femme. Actually, just to say a little bit the purpose, why we're doing this, is really just to share you that with each piece there is a story. And when you have a story and you just find that connection, I think it's pretty easy to find a connection with an embroidery piece because you spend so much time doing it.
Yeah.
But it makes you remember a place and a time when you did it. It also makes you remember how you felt maybe, and just like the pieces that we chose, for example, they've also had an impact on our lives, and some of them have had an impact on your life too. That's really the purpose, to just encourage you to think and reflect about the pieces you do, why you do them, how you do them, and how they made you develop as an artist. I start with this one. So Mr. French map guy, where's this?
In Paris.
Oh.
But you will see, with Eileen it's only in Paris almost.
No, I didn't know.
Or France. She's a French addict. I'm French.
That was a smooth transition.
Okay, Rue Galande.
Funny fact, the original photo of this street, I actually took this picture on our first date.
But you're sure you took this in the first date?
Yeah, I know, it's saved in my iPhone.
But we passed in this street a lot when we were living in Paris anyway.
Yeah, we did, but it's true that I think that the reason why I paid attention to it so much when we were walking back like towards direction where I was living from, where we had like a date, or we had a cafe.
Yeah, we had a date.
Yeah,
yes.
We had a date.
Yeah. We always start with a date.
And we were walking back. I think it's because then, you know, you're so hypersensitive because you're kind of excited with the person you're with, but it just also makes you observe everything a bit too much in detail because you're so busy, you know? So I think that's why I really just paid attention to this corner, because I think there's something fascinating, like...
Yeah, but the buildings here, it's quite special because it's, I think it has been made after, like in extension of between these 2 buildings, and that makes it in a weird shape. I'm not sure about that though, but it feels like it, and that's what makes it very interesting.
And also why I can say that I'm pretty sure it was, or I am sure because I have the date on the picture in my phone. But,
so what was the date of our first date?
17 October 2016.
Okay. Are you sure? Huh?
Are you not sure?
I am very sure.
We take this in another episode.
Okay.
I dare to say I had never walked on this street before. I had lived in Paris for about a year before we met, but for some reason, my dear husband here, he has a built-in GPS. Because you like literally know every single back street, and whenever we walk, you're like, okay, you always want to plan out like what's the nicest roads to make and how to do, like, you know, I love it. That's why I cannot find my own way in Paris, because I've just always followed. That's the only downside, but that's why I just completely fell in love with it. And ever since that first date in 2016, I've had this design in my mind, and I just never really did it until the summer 2018 when we were about to get married. I did the drawing and I did the embroidery. Don't you remember that you were like, you know, it's not good to be so attached to your pieces? And I was like, well, this is my favorite, this like means so much to me, and I didn't even want to put it up as a pattern for sale. So you were like, oh, but you should give it away for free. And I think it took me like 2 or 3 weeks of anxiety to like,
well, it was great, because the result is that so many people are embroidering it now, and we see great version of it, and I think it's really nice to see what was the impact with it, where we can share the love for creating and for embroidery.
Oh, but it's the best thing that we could have done, to just, you know, take your favorite piece and just do something that can actually make it even more valuable. So now we've got thousands of people who are doing this, and if you want to do it too, I put the link in the description just below, so you can join us on this adventure.
Okay, this is my first viral post, I will say. it's actually my first piece that I did with linen. Also, I was very keen on working with the colors, which I didn't really so much before. And that was my first Van Gogh inspired sky, actually. And it was a very good success. And I was trying to find also a way of blending the colors that was not exactly like the Van Gogh style. So I'm very happy with it. And it was a great feedback from the audience. I'm really happy with this one and very attached to it. We can see that it was one of my first pieces because, I mean, it's still a bit fragile lines, but it was a very nice challenge, I would say. And we were living in Paris in our little studio in Bretagne, so I remember it was actually good memories of it.
Yeah, but I would come home from like classes in school and you'd be sitting there like stitching.
Yeah. No, it was really a moment where I was getting obsessed with the process, so it was really nice.
But it was the first time also that you really experimented with, I mean, implementing something that you sort of knew before with regards to color blending and movement, and to do that with this new medium of embroidery, because embroidery had been introduced to you by me for not too long before that.
Yeah.
It is a bit tricky to embroider on linen because it's more soft than the regular cotton.
Yeah, but we can see the fiber here is a bit more like... Yeah.
But once this one is stretched out, and usually we have it in a hoop, but when you want to store embroideries for a longer time, and if you're not displaying them,
it's better to do like this.
Better to store them in a roll, exactly.
Yeah. And like this, you're sure that your embroidery will be protected.
Exactly.
Okay.
Next one. I'm challenging you with my first big piece. This is my first large personal piece, if I can say. It is up for sale, but this one...
Again of Paris.
It's again of Paris. Yeah. Okay, but you know, just because you were like born and raised in Paris, you might not have this same romantic connection to it. Like, I grew up just watching Moulin Rouge and dreaming of being in Paris, and also, you know, giving me a break here.
Oh, I don't, I think it's great. I mean, 80% of our partners are from Paris, I'm sure. But Paris is photogenic, so I understand.
This is from Place de Saint-Germain-des-Prés, isn't it? Marché.
Yeah.
It's in Saint-Germain-des-Prés.
It's in Saint-Germain-des-Prés, Latin Quarter, in 6.
Yeah, which is a wonderful district.
We passed this square a lot, actually, not especially to stop, but because it was usually in the area where we're hanging out.
It's just in between, like, the rest of sort of Saint-Germain-des-Prés and 6 that we love to walk around, and where our studio was on this side. Yeah. So we would walk here all the time, and for some reason, these huge lampposts that you have in Paris, I mean, I just love them. I find them so majestic, and I wanted to find a way to incorporate that in a piece, and I just like the composition here. And you had the plates, like, do you call it plates when it's on the floor?
I think it's pavements.
Pavements, no? Yeah, but yeah, you see.
I need to teach you English, quand même.
These on the floor anyway, and I just felt like all of these lines were just.
It was really your first full thread painting. It seems like.
Yeah, it was.
In architecture.
Yeah, it was. It was.
It was interesting. I really like it. I was very skeptical at the beginning of your choice of colors, but we never really matched in terms of colors scheme in the beginning. You were much more pastel and a bit more like soft than me. I was more poppy colors, and it was really funny at the beginning.
Even now, like, we still disagree on colors and things like that. But here is the most poppy one. You said it's a fart shop? No. It's a what?
No,
I don't remember.
This is so it's not a flower shop. It's a shop of collection for art and different type of books, if I remember.
But that was complicated to embroider, so I did a flower shop.
Yeah, and so the owner's name, like the name of the guy is quite funny, because as we don't pronounce some letters in French, in his name you have S, but you don't pronounce it in this circumstance. So his name is Prout, and Prout means fart. It's just when I was kid, always passing there, laughing like a baby. I still do, but it's fine.
I turned it into a flower shop, so you know the story is like now it's.
So
beautiful.
We can call it Mr. Flower.
These white parts of the wall, for example, has several. I don't think it was 4 or 5 different nuances on white just here. I don't know if we see that when we're moving around, but anyway, it was a fantastic, fun experiment, and I chose this one because I find that it really pushed myself as an artist.
This pushed myself as an artist too, I have to say. Oh, la, la.
I love the purple on the purple.
Yes, of course.
I love purple.
So this piece was made in Lisbon, started in Lisbon, finished in Sweden. And that's what I like with embroidery, is that when it takes you time, you have time to do it in so many places. I even continue it in the plane, so it's really a fun project that I had. But this one was my first stippling in embroidery. I used to do this, you see this dot technique and drawing a lot before. And Eileen told me many times that it would be a nice idea to do it in embroidery. I remember trying to find any good position to do French knot, because French knot you need your two hands, and we didn't have
You were like sitting like this and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, she will do it.
I have a stomach in the way.
Yeah, she will do it while pregnant.
Okay, like this. Okay, like this. Oof.
Yeah, I was sitting like
And your
this
hoop
with
here.
a hoop like that.
Oh, this is a bit complicated.
It was the only way for me to do it at this moment, and we had really bad chairs and very tiny studio in Lisbon.
But it didn't like prevent you from actually trying and find a way.
Yeah, and I'm very happy with it. Now I'm preparing a masterclass with this technique because so many of you really like this and would like to do it. And what I like is that when you do it closely, you don't feel that it looks great, but actually when you take back a step and you look at it, you see the realism with it that is great. Very nice memories about it. Now that we have a house and that we have good stands and things like this, I'm happy to do it with a good posture. So yeah.
But all that to say that actually I couldn't be more excited about this masterclass actually, because I'm gonna be the first to take it. Because I never did this kind of embroidery, so I'm super excited about it. All that to say that it is recommended to find a way to just like place your embroidery so you can have your two hands free. If you have an embroidery stand, I'll put a link for that below as well. We have also a big one so that we can stand up. We even have one that my dad constructed.
Yeah, we can't put
that in the link in bio.
It's too homemade. I can tell you it's really homemade.
But either way, like just to encourage to just find ways to figure out. You can even like just put boxes on top of each other, lean it, and yeah.
But it's a great memory. I'm very happy with it, and also it was a way for me to push the boundaries of embroidery, because that's the thing. Is like as embroidery is a medium where it was a lot of like I would say rules or a way to do it and stuff like this, and now we are doing a modern way of embroidery. It was a nice way to kind of provoke, you know.
Yeah, but it's funny, when you started doing embroidery, you were thinking that you were like the only one.
What do you mean?
No, but you were like, you told me once that you felt really special doing embroidery because you hadn't been in contact with it before.
Ah, yeah, but I said it in the first video we did embroidery together.
Yeah, but
so you can link that.
Okay. No, but I was just thinking about now with regards to the rules,
so
that in a way
I roll my embroidery.
Sometimes when you don't have rules, that's when you actually give yourself a bit most freedom to
exactly.
experiment. My last one.
Ah, your
Are
last
you ready?
one. Yeah, and then I have 3 of mine.
What?
Yeah, I'm the king, you know.
You just said you were on it.
I'm joking. This is a nice one. It's France again.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you should call your embroidery Instagram Embroidery Baguette.
No, because then I will feel limited that I only have to make friends, and then I wouldn't want to do friends.
Right.
Okay, now that's a whole other discussion, all right? I mean,
Sorry.
you just
Pardon my French.
It is actually the first piece that what can you say, freestyle? Hand?
Yeah, but you just embroidered directly on the
Exactly.
tissue.
I did not transfer any design in advance. I did do a drawing of this Villa Bellezza or Villa Belza.
Belza.
In Biarritz.
Not sure if any people are from Biarritz, sorry. We will put the name.
In Biarritz.
You could have prepared the name quand même.
Ah shit.
In advance.
Quand même.
Oh, typique.
And now you have to do the French.
If you want to be French, you just have to do this.
No. Now maybe it's from my French who just feel like that was not nice. I did do a drawing that I just used as a reference to look at on the side, but we were actually going on a road trip when I was embroidering this, and I didn't want to bring too much supplies or even think about too much which colors and stuff like that. So I just took a black thread and this piece of fabric and a little hoop. And I just got started. I don't even remember.
You know, actually the style you did it with this high contrast like this, I like it because it reminds me of the comics of, I know maybe it has not have, like you didn't have this idea, but it reminds me of this comics that was in black and white before, where the contrasts are very high and It's a really nice one. I think that's why also people liked it. It's the contrast of it, and the picture is great that you made in front. Like I remember we had to walk like a good kilometer or two back of this villa to have a good picture, and you were like doing it. It was really cool place where everyone were surfing and all.
Yeah, it was a lot of surfers that day. It wasn't in like April or something.
Well, in Biarritz, I think it's all the time surfers.
Yeah, you're right. But anyway, it was the first time that I did this high contrast piece, and I remember also because that was another thing that you've been mentioning, that I need to challenge myself with play with more high contrast, because I like to stay in the safe area because I want it to look pretty. But here I was like, okay, it will, bära eller brista, as I would say in Swedish. Basically, it will work or it won't.
Oh, I thought it was Basque.
What?
No, I'm joking.
No.
Like French people will understand.
Okay. Anyway, well, I got it too, and I'm not French.
You're half French.
I decided to think of my thread as ink. So basically, how would I draw it? And that's the way that I just started embroidering with it. And
it's a very nice.
I didn't put the pressure that I had to actually share it or that it would become something. Now, the irony in that is that we took the picture and I posted it, and since I wasn't really now I'm attached to it, but I did it kind of in improvising manner, because I just wanted to challenge myself and have a project in the car and try something new. And I posted it, and I remember just not checking my phone for a few hours because we had a friend with us. And then I look at it, and it's like, I think I hit over 10,000 something. Yeah, so I find that it also challenged me artistically, and it also really had some momentum in the business, actually.
Yeah. So my third and last piece is this one. I also did it in Lisbon, so nothing at all with architecture.
You hardly took... No, the first one was with architecture.
No, so this one was the first time I wanted to really push the thread painting, and I wanted to really go like I would do in a painting, so have a subject maybe in mind and make a story with it, because that's what's important in your piece maybe, is to have a story that, and here I have it. I mean, I took inspiration from a photographer, and I represent this in embroidery, and I imagine that this woman was used to be a dancer, and by listening to this pianist, it reminded her of a time where she was a ballet dancer, and this represents the movement of a dance and music. It was really nice.
You used to talk about also this as being sort of dreams.
Yeah, it was, and also I wanted to show that compared to the first piece where it was a sky of, like I used this technique for a sky, you can also use it for representing other things, and here it's the movement, the sounds, and the imaginary world, and I really like it. I remember that it was a long process, so that's why I maybe didn't do any other piece like this, but it was really
now
worth
you
it.
will have to do it.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I will see, because it took so much time. But it was really nice. And also it reminded me just a lot of good memories when we were in Lisbon, going in cafes, working here and there, outside. So that's why I chose it.
No, it's a wonderful piece. And this one, it used to be on a canvas, and then we took it off because, like we mentioned, it's good to store it when you don't have it in a frame.
Yeah,
so.
We did mistakes of storing before on the hoops and things like this, and we were really arming our pieces. So let's put all our pieces together.
And the ones that do have frames, this is actually how it looks like when it is framed.
Yeah.
It's because this one is hanging on our wall at the moment.
Yeah, so we still, we hang on our wall.
And this one we have actually in the entrance. All right.
So tell us in comment which one you rather like. You can choose one of each or one of all, as you want. But choose me.
This eye, it's still like, I just find it so amazing.
Yeah, me, I really like this one because it was a huge turnover, can we say that, in our business? I mean,
how it really created the foundation and the relationship with you guys.
Yeah, and it was really nice, and it's still nice because every day we receive pictures of people doing their version, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Really much. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe and put the bell notification if you want to know when we are posting a video. Right now we are trying to put videos twice a week. It's a challenge that I give to myself, and we are doing it.
Yeah.
Anything else? Maybe you want
give
to
us a little thumbs up, because I believe that's how the algorithm
Oh yeah,
works.
a thumbs up if you want to help us to spread the message. It's the most important right now.
And
a
yeah.
comment, don't forget, of which one is your favorite. Maybe you want to finish this video in Basque? No, or something in Swedish?
No.
No? Okay, see you guys. Bye.